We want to welcome you all to Amity University. We are so excited to have you here at the beginning of what we hope will be an inspiring, transformative, and rewarding journey. Now, while technical knowledge and academic excellence are essential, there's another set of skills that often determines how far you go, not just in your career, but in life, and those are called soft skills. So, what are soft skills? They include how you communicate, how well you work in a team, how you solve problems, adapt to change, manage your time, handle feedback, and navigate conflict. In short, soft skills are everything that helps you work well with others, present yourself confidently, and grow in your career. In this 1 hour online workshop, you will get a chance to learn about nonverbal communications, the powerful ways we express ourselves without words, from body language and eye contact to gestures and facial expressions. Please drop your questions or comments in the question and answer section you might be seeing on your screen. All the questions, all the comments, all of these things will be covered. I'll be there all the time and help you out with everything. Please drop all your questions in the Q&A question section. Please welcome our Head of Institution, Deputy Director of Amity Finishing School, Dr. Ishani Saraswat. She has been with Amity University for the past 17 years. She is an expert in the field of business communication, communication skills, English literature, and event management. She has been responsible for the overall personality development and soft skill enhancement of students as well as corporates. Her forte lies in possessing impressive soft skills, public speaking, and counseling. So, without further ado, let's welcome her and start the session. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you so much, Masha, for the introduction and for telling us very clearly as to what is in store for the students in this series of workshop that Amity University has started for the students who are already registered with us, the students who have already joined certain courses. So once again, a very warm welcome to each one of you. I welcome all the panelists and the students who are logged in with us. And I can see quite a few students who are enthusiastic to know what is in store for them in these workshops. So I am going to be talking to you about something that we all know, something that we have all learned at some point in time in our school, somewhere, at home, somewhere while communicating with people. And that something is the power of communication. So when I say communication, I know the first thing that comes to your mind is, oh, we know what communication is. We know how to talk, we know how to walk, we know how to sit, we know how to write, we know how to write emails, chat GPT here, so we can write emails with the help of that. Well, yes, communication is something that all of us know. But the problem arises when we want to convey something and we try to communicate with somebody, and that communication goes in a wrong way. Either the thing is misinterpreted, or there is a gap in understanding, or the response is not according to our expectation, or the result is not the way it should have been. And that is called miscommunication. Now, students, you must be here from all different backgrounds. You must have joined different courses. You must have joined a postgraduate course or an undergraduate course, or you must be still thinking about what course should I apply for? Should I go for this or should I go for that? Well, that is something which you chose or which you selected completely, totally based on your ability, which is your academic ability. But I'm sure all of you are a little concerned, are a little anxious, or maybe you think about how is the college life going to be? What will happen once I enter the university? There, my schoolmates will not be. There will be no teachers to tell me sit properly, walk properly, stop talking. There people will just expect you to know things and people will just expect you to follow the instructions. This can be daunting, especially when you think of coming to a place like Amity University, which is huge, which is a universe in itself. So, Amity University has taken this step to stay in touch with you and even before you enter this institution to make you so capable and so confident that when you deal with new people tomorrow, new classmates, new teachers, new environment, you know how to navigate yourselves because you have already enriched your personality in some way or the other. Now, I will begin my session with a question, and you can all put down those questions in the chat box, right? So, my question to you is, when you see somebody for the first time, when you see somebody for the first time, what is the first thing you notice in them? Okay, I repeat my question. You can put down your, okay, the outward appearance, all right, dress, attire, clothes, right? Okay, somebody else also, weirdo, okay, okay. Mm, posture, appearance, body language, attire, okay, speaking style and attitude. All right, communication skills, body language. Now, all of you, most of you, what you're writing is that you either see their posture or their facial expression or the presentation or the communication skills or their walk. Somebody is also saying walk, okay, their appearance. All right. So you all agree to one thing, that the first thing we notice in people, okay, is definitely the first thing that we see. That means if you see somebody for the first time, even before a person starts talking, we have made a judgment or we have formed an opinion about them, isn't it? I mean, people judge us and we judge people. No matter what you notice the first thing that you notice is going to be something non-verbal. So whether it is posture or appearance or the walk, so on and so forth. You know, you will be very surprised to know that a study says that the first thing people notice in other people is their back, not the back, the position of their spine. So, what people notice first about you is going to be your posture. That means a straight back, a head held high. When I say head held high, I don't mean like this. Always remember chin parallel to the ground, your shoulders rolled backwards, no stooping shoulders, my shoulders straight, both my arms on the sides, okay, and open palms, not clenched fists, open palms. And when we walk, make sure that you first place the heel of your foot and then the toe. And when you walk, take longer steps and swing your arms a bit. Don't swing your arms from the shoulders, but you can swing your arms from the elbow. And why? What is the reason behind it? So, when I say nonverbal communication, you can see here, it is the process of communicating without the use of words. So, all the sign language, even the emoticons, even those smileys that you send to one another, all of that is a part of nonverbal communication. But the surprising part is that we don't give that much attention to nonverbal communication. But there is a study done by Mehrabian, Albert Mehrabian. He was a social anthropologist. What he said was that, out of the 100% of communication that we do, okay, straightforward, 93% of it is non-verbal in nature. Imagine, non-verbal in nature. So that means how much percent is the word and how much is the verbal communication that is going to make a difference? That means only 7% of the words. Yes. And what do? We spend most of our lives and most of our times telling people, oh, you don't know how to use your words. Oh, you don't know how to talk. You don't know how to communicate. तुम्हें तो बात ही नहीं करना आता है. So on and so forth. But we don't pay much attention to the rest 93% of it. And I'm here to help you master that 93% of it with the help of small tips that you can use on a daily basis so that you appear confident. And why do we need to appear confident? Again, there is a study that says that, when you go for an interview, 70% of the interview is based on your soft skills. That means your communication, the way you talk, the way you put your points forward, your tone, your clothes, your style of speaking, sitting down, walking, everything. And it's just 30% of the technical knowledge. So you could be a topper. You could be somebody who is a master of your subject. But if you don't take care of the 70% of the soft skills that we say, your interview might not be the way you expected it to be. Because in the end, what people see in you is not really your knowledge, it is your personality, right? So, coming back to what I just started and what I said, remember one thing. Remember that in life, when we communicate with people, we are dealing with people. This is an acronym that I have used. Acronym is a short form which is used in order to convey a bigger meaning, and it is just an abbreviated form, so it makes it easy for us to remember. So when you meet people for the first time, please remember it'll take 7 seconds for them to form their first impression. And that's also a study, and I'm not saying that on my own. A study says that 7 seconds a person takes in order to form the first impression. So, no matter what you judge the person on, your walk, your clothing, your posture, it'll just take 7 seconds for the person to form a first impression. And sadly, it takes 7 more meetings to change that first impression. So, imagine if you have formed a bad impression about somebody or a negative impression, you will have to meet that person 7 more times in order to change that first impression. Well, even if it is not 7 times, it could be 2 or 3 times. So why not make that perfect first impression in the first go whenever you go and meet somebody in a professional, in a personal, or in a social environment? So the first thing you need to remember is that the people will notice your posture. And when I say posture, coming back to when you walk, make sure your back is straight. Make sure your shoulders are rolled backwards, your chin is tucked in, and your hands are open on your sides. And when you walk, you swing your arms. Can anybody tell me why should we open our palms and walk? And why should we not close our fists, or why should we not clench our fists and walk? Any idea? Any guesses here? You don't have to be right or wrong. You just have to give it a try. Anyone who would like to? Yeah, I'm getting answers. It is more inviting, expresses anger. Okay, open up arms represent confidence. So the person looks inviting and easy. Okay. Clenched fist means underconfident, indicates calmness. Okay. Yes, absolutely. We can take long steps and make a balance. Yeah, that's also very right. Logically, if you move, if you take longer steps and if your palms are open, your body is more balanced. You are right. Closed and clenched fists mean anxiety, means you are stingy. You know what is stingy? It is conjuice. Of course, that means you are stingy with your emotions, with your expression, and with your confidence level. So if you have to communicate, when people notice you, you should come across as an open communicator. So when you walk, your palms should be open so that people feel that you're approachable and then you want to communicate with them. Okay. Now, open palms are a gesture of open communication. You must have noticed people who talk like this. So imagine I am sitting like this, my arms are crossed, and I'm talking to you. And I keep talking to you like this throughout. Many people sit like this at times when they are listening to something, but they don't want to comment. At times when they don't want to be a part of the communication, at times when they have their thoughts in their minds but they don't want to express them for whatever reason, or at times when there is a presumption in our head that I know this person and I know what he's talking, I really don't want to listen to him or her. So any kind, please remember, any kind of crossing, hands, arms, legs, feet, any kind of crossing is a barrier to communication. The moment I uncross my arms and I start talking with open palms, I come across as an open communicator, as a confident communicator, and as a person who is willing to take the conversation further. Okay. And owing to this, since I'm talking about people, there is a very interesting rule, and that rule is called the rule of 10. And what does that rule say? So it says the first 10 seconds after you enter a room, you have made your first impression. People have formed an impression about you. 10 seconds. I mean, that is hardly the time where you can walk in from the door, stand in front of a person, and at max say, "Hi, how are you?" That's it. So 10 seconds is the time taken for a person to actually form an opinion. Okay, the other person forms an opinion. So what can you do in 10 seconds? You can do a lot. You can improve your posture. You can improve your shoulders, your footsteps, and your hand movements. And somebody mentioned that you notice the way people walk. So remember, if you place the heel of your foot first, so if I'm walking, if I place the heel of my foot first and then the toe, it means that I am an optimistic or a positive person. And there are people, who stomp and they walk. And some people also keep their toe first and then they walk. So what it means is that you are a negative person or you are a pessimistic person. And all that I'm sharing with you right now, guys, please remember, it is not me who says it. Nonverbal communication was named as a science, in the 1950s, 1960s, where they did experimentation and where all that I'm sharing with you was proven experimentally and scientifically. Okay, so place the heel of your foot first and then the toe and then walk. Okay, and once you've reached a place, now what do? So the second thing that we're supposed to do is we're supposed to sit down, right? Now, everybody will say here, we know how to sit on a chair. Of course, you know how to sit on a chair. But there is also a certain rule that is associated with it. And it's always good to know that. And what is that rule? The simple rule is that let's say there's a chair in front of you and you have to sit on a chair. So I can, kind of demonstrate this to you. So if I have to sit on a chair, what do? I pull the chair with my right hand. If it's a heavy chair, you can pull it with both the hands. And where do you sit from? You sit from your right hand side. So that means I will sit from this side and I'll sit down like this. I'll sit down straight. I'll adjust my height once and not do something like this. Oh my God, I need to fix the chair. I can't sit comfortably. No, adjust the height once. Okay. Keep your back straight. Imagine when you sit down that there is a ball kept behind your back or there is a live rabbit kept behind your back. How will you sit? You don't want to kill that rabbit. You don't want to squish that rabbit. So what do? You obviously will sit with a straight back and both your feet on the ground. Don't join them. Slightly parted, parallel to each other. Always remember a simple rule that when you sit, your entire body should look proportionate. So if your shoulders, the width of your shoulders should be the same as the width of your feet. And where do your hands go? Many people have this habit of keeping the hands on the other person's table. Please understand, the other person's table is his or her personal zone. I'm going to be talking about that. So unless it is your table, do not place the hand on anybody else's table. Where do you keep them? On your lap. Keep them on your lap, but do not cross your arms or your hands or your fingers or your feet. So both the feet on the ground, parallel to each other, hands on the lap. And when you talk to somebody, bend slightly forward. Don't bend like this, but bend a little. Why? Bending forward means that you are interested in listening to the other person. Okay? And I'm sure a lot of you sitting here, you want to you love sitting crossed legs. So boys, they love to keep one foot on the knee, and that's what they want to, that's how they sit because it's very comfortable. Yes, it's very comfortable. And girls also want to sit crossed legs. We usually do that again because it's comfortable. But understand, you should know the meaning behind it. When you sit crossed legs, number one, it's a barrier to communication. And secondly, the way boys sit, when you put one leg, one foot on your knee, your shoe points towards somebody. The sole of your shoe is visible. And you'll be surprised to know subconsciously, our points towards that person whom we do not like at all. So let's say right now I'm sitting like this, and my right leg is on my left knee, and my shoe points towards my left. And suddenly somebody walks from my left hand side, somebody whom I don't like, whom I dislike. You know what will I do? I will change my foot, and now my soul will point towards that person. And I'm not even aware about that. That is the power of nonverbal communication because it is subconscious and it is conscious both. So you can change your nonverbal, you can make it more powerful, okay? And what you need to do is you need to understand that crossing of legs is not a is a barrier to communication. Okay, so please sit with a straight back. Girls can also sit in one different pose, which is called a Duchess slant. So what you do in that is join your knees and slant your legs a bit. You must have seen a lot of models sitting like that, and they look very elegant. So that is the Duchess slant. The Queen of England used to sit like that. And there's one more way of sitting called the Cambridge cross, wherein one foot goes behind the other, and you slant your legs a bit. So a lot of other royal women from the royal family, they sit like that. So you need to understand that when you sit down, your back should be straight, chin again parallel, hands on your lap, right? Okay. Anybody who has a question related to any of this? Am I clear in what I am telling you? Are you being able to understand what I'm saying? Yes. Okay. Yes, ma'am. All right. What? Okay. Thank you. All right. So I think extrapolating too much from nonverbal easily be explained by Uh, yeah. Listen, we are talking about nonverbal communication because we know this, but we are not aware about it. And I am here to make you more aware so that you become conscious and you give out the best impression that you have to people whom you meet for the first time. Okay. Moving ahead now, second thing. Again, I have a question for you. And the question is, uh, when you talk to people, what do you think? Should we or should we not maintain eye contact? Should we look into the eyes of people when we communicate with them? And if yes, for how long? Any idea? Anything that comes to your mind? Okay, depends upon the situation. We must maintain eye contact. Okay, not too much, but 3 seconds. All right. Intervals included. Okay, for a while. Okay, for about 10 seconds. Okay, so I am getting a lot of nice responses. Shouldn't be constant. Yes, it represents confident. Okay, confidence. Thank you. Yes. So I'm glad that you understand that when we talk to somebody, it is important to maintain eye contact. You can see a word on my slide here that says oculesics. This slide here represents the principles of nonverbal communication. The first thing that we just did was kinesics, which is a technical term. You may or may not remember that, but you should know it means body language. Body language is one little part of nonverbal communication that only deals with your walking, with your sitting, and with your gestures and your hand movements. Okay. And then comes oculesics, which is eye contact. So when we talk to people, yes, you must maintain eye contact, number one. But the problem is that if we look too much into the eyes of the other person might feel that we are staring. And the other person might say, oh my God, she stares. Or the other person might get intimidated, right? And if we don't maintain eye contact, then the other person might feel that you're not confident enough. So first thing, maintaining an eye contact is called holding the gaze. Okay, G-A-Z-E, gaze. Now, again, a lot of theories. Some say 10 seconds, some say 3 seconds, some say 7 seconds. But when we usually talk about eye contact, usually a person in a normal situation blinks once in 3 seconds. It takes 3 seconds to blink once. So if I blink twice, it's approximately 7 seconds. So very simply, look into the eyes of a person, blink twice, okay? And then from there, where to look? If you look down or if you look sideways, you will come across as an inconfident person. So now see, from my eyes towards my forehead, do you see a triangle? This triangle is called the triangle of respect. So whenever you are making a conversation with your faculty, with respected people, anybody, any elder, even your colleagues, you should look into the eyes and then look towards the forehead. So if you blink twice for approximately 7 seconds, if you look towards into the eyes, and then if you look towards the forehead for approximately 3 to 4 seconds, that means you blink once or you look at the face, the other person will feel that you are being respectful, you are maintaining eye contact, and you are a confident person, and you are not making that person conscious either. And the second thing is from the eyes towards the chin. You see an inverted triangle, right? This triangle is called the triangle of social gazing. So whenever you are physically interested in somebody, you might not be respectful enough. From the eyes, we look down. And we understand that. We are always conscious. We understand that, the person is looking towards the eyes and then maybe towards the chin or the neck. So that triangle is called the triangle of social gazing. Okay. So yes, maintain eye contact for about 7 seconds and then look towards the forehead. That is the best way of holding a gaze. Second interesting fact about the eyes. So a brain is divided into 2 parts, and I'm sure you will say 3 parts because yes, more technically it is 3 parts and even more. But roughly the 2 parts are the left brain, the left. Okay, somebody says the aim is to maintain eye contact for about 50 seconds and 70 seconds about the time when we are listening. Okay, yeah, you're right. But when we implement that in real life, it gets a little difficult because we don't know how much is 50% and how much is 70% going to be. But yes, you are right that while listening, also we must maintain eye contact. The strategy remains the same. So I was saying that our brain is divided into 2 parts, the left brain and the right brain. The left brain is called the logical brain. So, and the right brain is called the creative brain, or it is also called the emotional brain. So women are usually called right lookers because of their creativity level or their emotionality, which is higher, but there's no study that says it. So once, I'll give you an anecdote. Once Mr. Rahul Gandhi went for an interview and he was being interviewed by Mr. Arnab Goswami. And what happened in that interview was that when Mr. Gandhi was asked questions related to his political party, he used to look at the left side and answer. And when he was asked questions related to his childhood, he used to look at the right side and answer. And of course, that interview was a fiasco. But later on, when they critically analyzed the interview, they found out that whenever you think logically, you look at the left side and you answer. And when you are emotional, when you're creative, even when you are lying, you will look at the right side and you will answer. When you are revisiting a memory, when you're remembering something, you look up and you answer. When you are ashamed, when you're guilty, not happy, you look down and you answer. So this is a very interesting tip. You can use it for yourselves and you can use it to observe other people. Left side, logical side, right side, creative side. But there is an exception to the rule. If you are a left-handed person, this is going to be opposite for you. Okay, so when you communicate with people, you can understand how is the thought process of the other person. And If a person looks straight, that means the person is balanced logically as well as emotionally. So oculesics, eye contact, is the most important thing in communication, especially when we communicate non-verbally, even when we are not talking. The way we look at a person defines a lot about our level of confidence. All right. So eye contact done, your posture done. Now what comes next? So the first thing people notice in your face are your eyes. And the second thing, okay, okay, somebody is giving me a very nice logic. The left and the right brain thing is a bit of a myth. There is no division. Yeah, so there is no division in the brain, but it is just the part of the brain that thinks logically and the part of the brain that is connected more to your emotions, even if there is no clear demarcation. But definitely, the left side of the body is governed by a certain section of the brain, which is more logical. Okay. So, yeah. So, the second thing people notice about you on your face is your smile. And a smile tells a lot about what you're feeling and how you make the other person feel. So there are four types of smile. The first smile is called the fake smile. So when you look at somebody and you hate that person from the bottom of your heart, what do? You look at the person, you smile, you pretend to smile, and that smile is not genuine. Hi, how are you? I hate you. I can kill you. That kind of a smile. And uh, that's called a fake smile. And the second is a plastic smile. So, plastic smile is, let's say you've gone for a vacation to Dubai and you're standing under Burj Khalifa. And what you're doing there is that it's 50 degrees centigrade and you want to click a selfie. And you know that you look very nice in a certain angle and a certain profile. Okay. So you click a selfie and you look at yourself like that because you know you look nice, but you don't feel that. You don't feel it simply because the temperature is very, very high. Okay. So the feeling of smiling is not there, and you're just pretending to smile because you know it's your best smile. So it's a fixed smile called the plastic smile, has got nothing to do with your real emotions. But yes, you are smiling and you know you look nice when you smile like that. The third kind of smile is called a sarcastic smile. It's also called a smirk. It's also called a grin. So that kind of smile is usually given when, you know, your friend tells you, listen, don't go for that competition. You're going to lose and come back. I'm telling you. But you don't listen. You go for that competition, you lose and you come back. And after that, what does your friend do? The friend gives you a smirk. I already told you that you will lose. मैंने तो पहले ही बोला था. That sarcastic smile, that sadistic pleasure you get when you get to prove the other person wrong, that is the sarcastic smile. And the fourth kind of smile is a genuine smile. How do we know that a person is smiling genuinely? When you smile genuinely, there are fine lines around your eyes and your eyes light up. And that's how we know that the smile is genuine. And obviously, you smile genuinely. Yes, genuine smile produces furrows around the eyes. Okay. Yes. Which smile is best for professional life in interview? Listen, you should smile genuinely, right? And even when you are in a professional situation, see, I do understand that you might not be happy with the question that is being asked. But even if you smile, and take a minute to think about the answer, at least the other person feels that you are okay and you're not tensed, and you give an impression that you are welcoming and that you are a pleasant person. So, definitely, you should try and smile genuinely. But if at times you can't, and you are in a situation where people are observing you, you can pretend to smile for a while. And after that, I think you will, they say that if you keep smiling for a while and if you pretend to smile, you actually start feeling happy after some time, right? But yes, genuine smile is the best smile, and that comes when we are happy from within. The third word here that you can see is called proxemics. Proxemics is derived from the word proximity and or distance. Now, when I say distance, have you ever experienced a situation where you were standing in a queue, where you were standing in a line, or even when you were sitting and there was somebody standing very close to you. The person meant no harm. You are standing and the other person is standing close to you, and the person meant no harm, but you were conscious. Does that happen? Are you aware? Are you conscious about how close people are, how closely they sit or they stand in a certain situation? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So you are aware. Our mind is always aware about how close or how far a person is, or how much distance a person has maintained while talking. So there will be some people, who will just walk up to you, stand so close that you get conscious and you have to either take a step back or you have to tell that person to step back because you get uncomfortable. So, according to nonverbal communication, proxemics deals with distance, and here is a slide that tells you how much distance is called what. So, if you, let's say, are standing at a distance that is 0, 18 inches around you is called the intimate distance, intimate zone, which is meant for your personal doctor, your pet, or your partner. And 18 inches to 4 feet is called the personal space. The personal space is the international distance for doing business, for doing a handshake, for exchanging business cards. And 4 feet to 12 feet is called the social zone. Social space is a space when you're made to sit in a classroom, when you're made to sit in a movie theater, where you're sitting in each other's social zone, but whenever you get a chance, you just move away and you go and sit to the person whom you want to sit next to, or you just move around. And the public space is from 12 feet to and beyond that, which is like when you attend a public rally or when you're attending a public speech where, or a cricket match for that matter. So why are these zones important? Because you should understand and you must know that a professional zone for doing business is 18 inches to 4 feet. The conference tables are 4 feet wide. When you shake hands, you should be between 4 feet distance. When you exchange business cards, you should be in the other person's personal zone. And if you remember, in the beginning, I spoke about don't keep your hands on the other person's table when you interact with the person. Why not? Because you are in the other person's intimate zone. Now, if you come to meet me in my office and if you sit down with your arms on my table, there's nothing wrong, but that's my personal space. You can do it for yourselves. You can do it when you are in a particular, where you're sitting on your work table, work desk, but not when you are sitting with the other person. So whenever you go to meet somebody, do not place your arms. And that's the same logic why we say that elbows off your table on a dining table, because this is the other person's intimate zone also if it's yours. So that's why, and so that you don't hit the other person when you're on a dining table. That is also something that you need to keep in mind. So proxemics is the distance that you should maintain while talking to people. And one thing you should remember is that in the Middle Eastern countries, which is our social zone, is their personal zone because of the cultural context. They maintain more distance when they talk to people. So their social zone is our personal zone. Okay. Now, after proxemics, moving on, I have something which is called uh, here paralinguistics or paralanguage. I don't know how many of you have experienced this, but I have met a lot of people who say that the problem is not with the words I use, but the problem is with my tone. So I'll share this incident with you. I was once walking behind a bunch of girls, and there were two, three girls walking ahead of me. And the other person was talking, and there was a girl who kept saying, the two girls were talking, and one girl, she kept saying, "Oh, shut up! Oh, shut up! Oh, shut up!" And that was all that I could hear. But do you think that "shut up" that the girl was saying actually meant shut up? I mean, if you go by the word shut up is such a rude word. And when I say shut up to somebody, it's supposed to be very rude. But the manner in which I say that word makes the whole amount of difference. And that is what we mean when we say that it is not really the words that make the difference, but it is the tone that makes the difference in your communication. And when I talk about tone, you can stick to a simple rule. Whenever you have to talk to somebody, be firm, but be polite. I know it's not an easy thing to do, but yes, you can be firm and you can be polite at the same time. And when I'm talking about the tone, it's also called intonation. There are three types of tones. So whenever there is an exclamatory statement, whenever there's a simple sentence that you have to say, like, "This is a table, what a beautiful day," your tone should go up. That is called the rising tone. And so what I mean to say is that when I have to exclaim that it's a nice, pretty day, what I can say is, "What a beautiful day." My tone goes up. And when you have to interrogate, when you have to question somebody, you should use the falling tone. Falling tone is start at a higher level and go down. For example, "How have you been? How are you feeling? Why weren't you present for the class?" Not something like, "How are you feeling? How are you doing?" That changes the entire meaning of the sentence. Okay. And the third tone is called the rising falling tone. Whenever there is a doubt, whenever there is a but, whenever there is a contradictory statement that you have to use, the tone first goes up and then it comes down. For example, I say, "Ishita is a brilliant girl, but she is unwell." So there is the rise and the fall in my tone. The right tone, the right stress on the words at the right time. Also, something that is called, the pitch, something that is called the rhythm, something that adds a musical quality to your talk is called rhythm. So if there is no rhythm in our voice, we will sound like robots. Rhythm adds a musical quality to our voice. Okay, so paralinguistics forms 38% of our communication. So out of that, 93% nonverbal communication that we just spoke about, 55% of it is visual that you see, and 38% is the manner in which you speak words. So also, for example, when I talk about stress, stress is the amount of stress that you put on a word defines the importance that you give to that word. Okay, so for example, I have to say, I will be late for my class. I can say it in different ways. I will be late for my class. 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 Do you see there is a difference in the meaning? The most stressed word is the most important word in our communication. So you must be wondering that I'm talking about nonverbal communication here, but why am I talking about how should we speak? I'm not talking about what words you choose when you speak. I'm talking about the manner in which you speak those words, which is paralinguistics or paralanguage in nonverbal communication. And that is what will make the entire difference when you communicate. Okay. Then coming to something very interesting, you can take a look at the slide. This is called artifactics. It's not an artifact. An artifact, I'm sure you know, is a piece of, there can also be fall and rise. See, when you speak, you can modulate your tone in the way you want to. There can be fall and there can be rise when you speak, but the meaning of that sentence will change. So the word, the meaning will not be conveyed the way in which we want it to be conveyed. That is why there are some set rules that help you convey the exact meaning and communicate in the right way that you really wish to. Okay? Okay. So I was saying artifactics is a piece of uh, an antique piece that is placed. It's a piece of art. An artistic piece is called an artifact, but I'm talking about artifactics. So when I say that nonverbal communication is your walk, is your gait, is your posture, sitting tone, it is also the accessories that you use, the colors that you wear, the perfume that you wear. All of that is also a part of your communication system. You know, the logo of McDonald's, I'm sure you all have seen that. Okay. The logo of McDonald's is red and yellow in color. And there is a meaning behind it. Red has the longest wavelength, can be seen from the farthest distance. Yellow instigates hunger, makes you hungry. Okay. And it's a bright color, again, eye-catching. When we talk about the corporate color is blue because it represents sincerity. You know, there is a study that says that on Fridays, the productivity of the offices goes low. Why? Because Fridays are supposed to be casual. People wear all kinds of colors. All colors impact people's mind differently. And therefore, the productivity level also changes. And also, if Saturday isn't off for you, it's the weekend, right? So when you go for a formal interview or a meeting, or you represent your institution at some level, wear a light colored shirt, a light colored top, and a dark colored bottom. Pastel shades soothe your mind. So you can notice for yourselves, if you're sitting in a room that has red walls, okay, bright walls, after some point in time, you will become over energetic, or you can also become short tempered, or you will start getting angry, because red color impacts your mind in a way that it gives you more energy. It makes you more restless, more energetic, right? But if you have white walls or pastel shades, they're supposed to be there so that your mind can be soothed. Yeah, somebody asked me a very interesting question. Does black color look more mystery and professionalism? Yeah, you are absolutely right. So when we talk about the professional colors, the usually professional colors are black, blue, gray, okay, and white. So black color is called as the color of enigma. Enigma means mystery. Black is definitely a professional color, very formal color. But what is the meaning? The meaning is some mystery or some enigma behind black. And also black makes you look thin. That's a fact. That's for sure. So I was saying that wear a light colored shirt. If you go for an interview and if you wear a red tie, nobody will stop you. If you wear a red shirt, nobody will stop you. But what is going to happen is you want maximum focus in an interview and you don't want to get distracted. You don't want to feel over energetic. So you don't want to choose red. You might want to choose a pastel or a lighter shade. Green color helps you think better. Black color is the color of the unknown. It's a formal color. White color soothes your mind. Pastel shades calm your mind. Pink color is the color of ambition. Purple color is the color of the royal class. Brown color is the color of people who are emotionally more complicated. Okay, gray color is the color of people who are always, they are more balanced. Okay, and the most balanced people. And gray is also a formal color, usually used in the professional arenas. So colors also become a part of your personality. You wouldn't have ever thought of that. More than that, your perfumes become a part of your personality. How? So I'm sure most of you sitting here like to use perfumes. And yes, you must wear a perfume first thing. But there's a certain way and a certain reason behind choosing a certain perfume. You know, when perfumes were made, they were not just made to fight body odor. That was one of the aims. But the second aim was it was also made to attract the opposite gender. Okay. So when you wear a perfume, what do? All of us, we excrete something called pheromones. And those are odors that may or cannot be detected by the naked nose. At times, dogs can sniff something and we can't. Okay. And what is that? They are pheromones. So when you make a male perfume, you put a male and a female pheromone in that. That could be the reason why some of the men like female perfumes better and otherwise. And those ads that you've seen of Axe Deo, when a man wears a perfume and everybody else runs behind him, that is somewhere true. So it is definitely one of the reasons is to attract the opposite gender. But more than that, pheromones are very unique. And everybody has a unique pheromone. And if that matches with the pheromone that is there in the perfume, you love that perfume, you wear that perfume. But let's say tomorrow, if you walk into a room wearing your loudest favorite perfume, and the pheromone of the interviewer doesn't match with that, what is going to happen? The interviewer might get distracted. And I'm sure it's happened with you also. And second thing is, there is a research that says if you wear the same perfume for 2 years, it becomes a part of your body odor. Okay. So whatever perfume you choose a subtle perfume. Don't choose a very loud perfume. Try it, even if you don't go for very expensive perfumes. It's absolutely fine. A simple Zara perfume costing you 1,200, 1,500 rupees is fine, but you should know how to apply it. So how do you wear a perfume? Apply it here, dab it. Don't rub it. Apply it behind your ears, okay, on your neck, on your pulse points, and also behind the knees when you walk. And the whiff of the perfume that you leave behind when you walk is called the sillage. It's called sillage, okay? Perfumes are a part of your non-verbal communication system. So are your accessories, the makeup that you do, the hairstyles, your watches, your spectacle frames, the earrings. Everything defines some part of your personality. So depending upon the occasion and the place that you are at, you must choose your accessories. Okay, your belts, your socks, your shoes, everything is a part of artifactics and is a part of your communication system. That is why it is very important to be appropriately dressed wherever you are. Dress according to the occasion. You might look very cool in a pair of tattered jeans and your rugged t-shirt because it's very comfy. Where comfy is fine, but then the impression that you give to the other person is that you are just so relaxed and you're just so easygoing. And whereas if you dress professionally, the only thing other people feel is that you have made an effort. Can boys wear fruity, fresh perfume? It depends upon you. If you like it, wear it. There is no perfume that has been fixed. So, men's perfume have a certain range. If you find a fruity perfume there, go ahead, wear it. Of course, wear what you like. Okay. Now, coming to chronemics. I don't know how many of you have felt it that people who are on time, they're respected more. People who are punctual, people who finish on time, people who start a particular presentation on time and end on time, they're more respected. You know why? Because again, it's a part of your personality. When we talk about chronemics, chronemics is also a cultural thing. So in India, we all are aware that if somebody calls us and invites us for a particular event and the time given to us is uh, 9 o'clock, we easily, conveniently, and unapologetically walk in by 10:30, right? Why? It's part of a culture. That's the way we are. And why are we like that? Because we are polychronic in nature. Polychronic cultures are all the old cultures, high context cultures. We are multitaskers. We can do 3, 4 things in one point of time. We can have coffee. I can look at you. I can talk. I can even text. I can think of something else. Because we multitask, the concept of time that we have in our mind is it's just time. What's the big deal? But in the Western world and in the corporate world now, the concept is that they're monochronic in nature. Monochronic and and monotaskers. That means one thing at one point in time. If you write an email to an American will reply with the same promptness as we do to a phone call. because they do one thing at one point in time. But for us, an email is supposed to take time. Otherwise, people will think we are too free to reply to messages and emails. That's not true. In the Western world, they work on the concept, and so does the corporate world now. Time is money. People who value time, people who understand the value of time management, people who make to do lists, people who write down their tasks, people who prioritize their tasks, they are far more successful and they are respected and they are valued more. You must have seen it with your friends also. Somebody who always reaches on time, you have a different respect for that person. Somebody who makes a to do list. So before going to bed, make a list of the tasks that you want to take up the next day. And the next day before going to bed, cross out all the tasks that you've done. And there's a very interesting thing that says, eat your frog. So there's a book that is there which says, eat your frog. That means prioritize your time and do the most difficult task the first thing in the morning, and then you'll be sorted. So time management, chronemics that is what it is called, is a very important part of your personality and your confidence. And I'm coming to the last thing, which is called tactilics or haptics. These are the 7 principles. The last principle of nonverbal communication talks about tactilics. Now, when we talk about, a touch, when you touch somebody's feet, elders keep their hand on your head. You pat somebody on the back, you hug your friends, you shake hands with people, right? All of that is a form of communication. Many times we get to know the intentions of a person through a touch. Okay. So, in the professional world, or tomorrow when you meet strangers, how will you know what is the intention of a person? One simple way is through a handshake. There are 4 major kinds of handshake. The first one is called dead fish bone. Dead fish bone, you hold the other person's hand like this. Surface area in contact is very little. The web of your hand doesn't meet the web of the other person's hand. You hold the other person's hand, you look towards the other side and say, hi, how are you? Disinterested. I don't want to shake hands with you because probably I'm hiding something. I'm not interested, or maybe, I'm not comfortable shaking hands with you. So dead fish bone, do not shake hands like that. Second way, politician's handshake. So when you take the other person's hand between both your hands and tap, don't worry, we will take care of you. We will help you. We will do your work. It's a promise that you're making. Politicians make those promises all the time and they don't fulfill anything. Well, some of them do. So a politician's handshake means that you're very close to the person. You're assuring something that you might not be able to deliver. So professionally, do not do a politician's handshake unless you're too close to the other person or you are giving too much assurance. Okay, yeah, like Donald Trump, absolutely right. Somebody said Donald Trump, yes, he does a politician's handshake. And once Donald Trump did a politician's handshake with our Prime Minister Modi. And what did he do? He is very famous for giving the bear hug. So he did this and then he hugged Donald Trump. And that's his way of shaking hands. And that's called the bear handshake. The third handshake, bone crusher or bone cruncher. It's not just the bodybuilders who do it, not just the people who go to the gym, they shake hands like this. Anybody who brings their hand forward like this, holds the other person's hand. So the other person's, the person who's shaking hand, his hand is on top. When you shake hands like that, hurt the other person. The handshake is too firm. That is called a bone cruncher. And who are the people who do it? Dominating people, people who are inherently aggressive, people who are anxious, or basically people who are dominating. Okay, so bone crusher is not a professional handshake. And the fourth kind of handshake is called the gentleman's handshake, or a firm handshake, or a corporate handshake. Please remember, a handshake is a form of greeting. It should be polite and humble. So when you shake hands, first thing is bend forward. Extend your hand. Let a lady initiate a handshake or a senior initiate a handshake. Okay. Extend your hand. Don't do this. Bend your elbow a bit. Hand like this, slightly tilted. Hold the other person's hand. Look into the eyes of the other person. Smile. Okay. The web of your hand should meet the web of the other person's hand. And no matter how happy you are, please don't do, oh my God, I'm so happy to meet you. It's such a pleasure. No. Pump your hand. 1, 2. That's it. Just twice. 1, 2, 3, maximum. And that is what will convey your confidence. That is what will convey your professionalism. And that is what will let the other person know that this person is very confident and very welcoming. And that's what people will respect you for. So I see the time is almost up, and I have also almost finished with the principles of nonverbal communication. If there are any queries, you may please quickly put in the chat box so that I can answer. And also let me know if I made any sense to you. Also, let me know if whether or not this session was helpful. So we are going to present you with a series of topics on different soft skills, and different trainers will be interacting with you and talking to you about the things that are essential, helping you utilize those tips so that you become more confident in the real world. Anybody with any questions here? Has this session been helpful? Have you been able to gain any knowledge from this? Okay. Somebody says, very informative. Thank you. How can I look ruthless like a politician? You don't have to look ruthless. Why do you have to look ruthless? You have to look confident. And how do you look confident? By taking care of the tips that I just shared with you, right? Okay. Any other thing? Thank you. Thank you so much. People are saying it was informative. Okay. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much. And I'm so glad that we were able to give you some information. This is what Amity's aim is, to help you not just with your subjects, but to groom you, to make you more confident and make you industry ready. And Amity Finishing School, you must have seen the link. Please follow us. And when you enter Amity University, you can also join our open elective courses where we will groom you for a better tomorrow, and where we'll groom you to be successful in life. So I think that's more or less how to deal with anxiety in surgeon. Okay, one last question I'll answer. How do you deal with anxiety? See, there are two things. When you are anxious, understand one thing, keep moving the toes of your feet. Keep moving the toes. That means wiggle your toes. All your energy will dissipate through your feet and you will appear calmer. One tip. Second is, before you have to go and meet somebody or you have to present, keep both the hands on your waist, stand up, pat your feet a little and look up, but stand in front of a mirror. Okay? Keep standing like this for 5 minutes. What is going to happen? Your happy hormone, dopamine, will release. And once dopamine releases, your anxiety levels come down. So when you meet somebody, you're already less anxious and you're more happy. Okay? So this is called one of the power poses, and wiggle your toes so that you are less anxious. And when you're talking and standing, you can also use this posture. It's called a steeple, which is a power pose that makes people feel that you are a very confident person. All right? Okay, so does everyone in corporate learn about it? No. See, people are not taught this in the corporate because people expect other people to know these things. And that is why you are here. And that is why we are talking about it, so that once you enter the professional world, in the professional world, people learn it with experience. Some people know it, some people are taught. Most of them don't receive any formal education in these soft skills, and they learn it through experience. And that is why they falter and they learn. So we don't want that to happen to you. Okay. Thank you so much then. I think I've had a wonderful time. I am so glad you interacted. I'm so glad you asked questions. And thank you so much for being such a great audience. And we will be seeing you very soon again. Thank you so much. And I think the students now, I think we can end the webinar. Is there anything anybody wishes to add? Anybody from the admissions team or anybody from Finishing School or Amity University team? Okay, so I think we are more or less sorted. Thank you so much, students, and we'll see you very soon at the Amity campus. And I think we can end the webinar here. Thank you, IT team.